Uh, all right, I'm all good to go on my end. So, how are you doing today?
Good, good. Yeah, I'm in Phoenix, Arizona. It's weather's broke. It feels good out. It's nice and cool in the mornings. It's a good day.
That sounds nice. And then so would you like to be called Ty or Mr. Parton or
No, Ty, please,
Ty?
please, Ty.
Okay.
Yeah,
And I'm David. Nice to meet you.
yeah, Dave.
I have one quick side question before we start the actual interview, if that's all right with you.
Yeah.
So do you know the rules when you were a player within the Chiefs on doing interviews?
I think it always went through the PR guy.
And he would have
Um,
to okay what you guys were able to do?
um, I, nah, he would just usually set you up like, hey, this guy wants to talk to you. Blah blah blah. Boom, we'd meet and we talk. So. No, just being smart about what you're talking about, obviously.
Hmm.
You know. No,
Okay.
I don't think there's any rules on that. I'm at the fire station right now, so
And that's where you work, correct?
yes.
Okay. And is that what you've been doing since your playing days?
Yeah, I actually after Kansas City, I blew my knee out and um rehab that knee back. I got into the XFL. Remember the XFL?
Yeah, yeah. And you played for the Vegas Outlaws, right?
I played for the Vegas Outlaws. He hate me was on the team. Rod Smart, I think. He
Hmm.
was awesome. Yeah, I played there before I went up to the XFL. I was in Phoenix and I took the written test for the fire department. Passed that, went up there, played the season. Actually, played my last game, I believe, on a Sunday, and drove down that night and had the physical the next morning, that Monday, and then you do a written test, you do the physical test, and then you do two interviews. And then after the physical test, I prepped myself for a couple months on the interview process and got hired
Nice. Is
in
was
'02.
firefighting something you wanted to do your whole life?
My roommate in college was we played football together at the University of Arizona,
Hmm.
and he called me in. It was an off season. He's like, "Hey man, you got to come check this out." Like, what are you doing now? He's firefighting, man. He goes, "I love it. We're going through the academy right now, and he's come down. We're having a live burn." I went down, checked it out. It's the fire department's a lot like the locker room in the station. Guys are joking around, pulling pranks on guys.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
We eat and sleep and a third of our life together. So it's a brotherhood, similar to football team.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. It really fills that desire for you, right?
Yeah, for sure. I love it. I love helping people, and I love the excitement of fires and car wrecks and stuff like that. I mean, there's certain adrenaline rush with that,
Oh yeah.
and it's always good to help people.
Hmm. So then my next question is you were the first overall pick in the League draft, is that right?
Correct. Yep.
With the Scottish Claymores.
Got picked up by Scottish Claymores. A lot of those guys in that league were allocated by teams. When I went through, I actually got when I went through the training camp. They saw me, and the Jets wanted to sign me right there and pull me out of the World League and get me in their off-season program. But at that point in time, I'd played 3 years with the Cincinnati Bengals. I was in a left-handed stance, always been in a right-hand stance in college, and I just needed to get my mojo back. I just needed to get my confidence, I think, my
Hmm.
confidence back. And yeah, it was great. I ended up getting defensive player of the league. We ended up winning the whole thing. Got a cheesy kind of ring, but no, it's a cool ring.
Yeah,
And the unfortunate part of it is I blew my knee out in the process. So
really.
that's
So
when I. So then I came back. I came back that next off season and signed with the St. Louis Rams and made it through their camp. Got cut on the last cuts, and sat out. That was 97, I believe. Sat out that whole year. Figured I was done. Got a call with 2 games left in the season. I pick up the phone. You in shape? And I'm like, heck yeah. Who's this? It was Coach Carm. I was like, Coach Carmelowitz, where you at these days? He goes, I'm in Kansas City. If you're in shape, pack 2 bags of clothes. I got a plane ticket at 5:30, Sky Harbor Airport. You're flying out here, and at the time in '97, that year they went 13-3, number one in the AFC, had a first round bye, and unfortunately, if we'd have played Denver, well, we played them twice that year and beat them. If we'd have played them 9 other times, we'd have beat them. But just that day, Elway and Metcalf, or who's that receiver? His kid's playing for Panthers, I think. White kid, running back.
McCaffrey?
McCaffrey. Yeah, his
Yeah,
dad,
yeah.
Ed McCaffrey, freaking killed us that game, man.
Hmm.
We ended up, missing a field goal, and we got actually made the field goal within. Greg Minuski got called for hooking. You ever heard that one?
Yeah, yeah, I have heard that one.
Not too often. Not too often. You don't get that call. And Minuski was our special teams captain. He knew what he was doing. It wasn't really a hooking call,
Hmm.
but moved it back 5 yards, no problem. And then Pete missed that field goal, and that was pretty much it. We that was one of my worst defeats, and I'd only been on the team for two weeks.
Really?
So yeah, so when I get that call and I fly back to Kansas City, you know, there's 10 of us in the field house, and we start running, and guys are starting to puke. Guys are pulling up hamstrings. When I kind of get an idea, I go, I know what they're doing. We're just running. They're just going to run us and see who's the last guy standing. So, it was pretty evident going through that process that that's what they're going to do. And I was kind of sizing up guys, and the third, there's 3 of us left. That guy bounced out, and I could feel my hamstring. I mean, I probably had another 1 or 2 maybe. Hey, what's up, Dave? How you doing, man? Good to see you. I'll talk to you. Yeah, I looked down at the guy. I did everything I could to stand up straight, put my hands over my head, and I was like, I kind of looked at the guy like, I can do this all day. He kind of
Yeah.
looked at me. He's like, shit, congratulations, and that's how I got on the Chiefs, man.
Wow. Wow. That's just that one day of running is what got you on there.
Yeah, and I wasn't in shape. I was gut bucking, just trying to reach down the old gut bucket and power through it. But
Mhm. Mhm.
yeah, it was pretty exciting. And then, the next day you come into the locker room and guys are like, man, who's this guy? Shit, you coming in here right time, you're going to get a ring. I mean, we were so confident. That defense that year was,
Yeah.
man, I was just looking around the room going, oh my God, James Hasty, Derrick Thomas, Joe Phillips,
Oh yeah.
um, Greg Minuski, Donnie Edwards. We
Mhm.
were we
Mhm.
were stacked. Mighty Mouse, remember Mighty
Yes,
Mouse?
sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I love that guy, man. And like I said, that 2 weeks I practiced. Um, um, oh, running back, went to USC, all pro, all everything. Can't remember his name right now.
On
Gosh
the
dang.
Chiefs.
Yeah, played for the Chiefs. Allen, or Marcus
Marcus
Allen.
Allen. Yeah. Yeah.
So Marcus Allen during practice, my coach was like, "Hey, tag off on the running back every play. If you don't, I'll cut your ass on the spot." And I said, "You got it, no problem, man. I do windows. I'll do anything you ask." And so Marcus's deal was, anytime he touched the ball, he would run to the end zone if you didn't tackle him, right?
Mhm.
So, well, gosh dang, man, they'd run a sweep around the other end. I'd have to check for reverse and then start just booking it, 60 yards down the line, down the field, trying to tag off on Marcus. And by the time I tagged off him, I had to sprint back to get the next play because they got the next offensive play running.
Yeah.
And at the end of those 2 weeks, man, I remember vets like Derrick Thomas and guys like that. Hey, let me get you a blow, man. You need some help, I was
Yeah.
like, nope, I got this. No one's taking my job, man. I'm doing what I got to do. So that was pretty cool. And then, the last game, back then, and I don't know what Kansas City does now, but we didn't have to go to hotels. We'd stay in our own houses.
Mhm.
So on Saturday nights. So Saturday night, I flew my family in. It was December. The lights were on. The skating rink was downtown. And, what's the place down there with all the lights?
The
Um,
Plaza?
the Plaza. Took them to the Plaza. We actually went out and had sushi and celebrated. Had some sake bombers, and it was a great day. And so the next morning I go in there, and it's the last game of the year. I'm just gonna wear a baseball cap and a jacket on the sideline because I
Mhm.
wasn't gonna be active. So I was like, hey, let me bring you guys down to the locker room before the team gets in there, and I'll show you around a little bit. So we go down there, go in my locker. My locker's got my game game jersey on there, taped down. My pads are in there, brand new shoes, 4 sticks of gum. I'm looking. I'm like, oh my gosh. I go, hold up right here. Told my dad and brother, go stay right here. Ran around in the equipment room, and the guys are like, Parten, right on, dude. You're getting the start tonight. You're getting the start.
Oh,
And
jeez.
they sat Derrick, and a couple of those guys rested him, and man, I was like, I come back to my brother. My brother's like, dude, start drinking Gatorade, man. Because
Yeah.
to be honest, I kind of had a hangover. I had no idea I was going to play. Went out there and we played the New Orleans Saints, and Willie Rope was the tackle. You know,
Mhm.
and the first player, Willie's like, "Hey man, slow down, bro. You guys are going to win this game. We're just going to run the ball and get this out of here." I was like, "Hey Willie, sorry brother, but this is my Super Bowl, man. I'm going 100 miles an hour," and he could just see him going, "Ah shit, here we go."
Yeah.
So it wasn't a patty cake game for me or for Willie that game. We were going at it pretty hard. It was what an exciting time. And then we had that first round bye,
Mhm.
and then we had Denver at our place, and gosh dang, just lost that game. It was heartbreaking. I'd only been with the team 2 weeks, 3 weeks, but that was probably the second worst loss I've ever had in my career, high school, college, whatever. It that thing stung because you knew how much, what we lost.
Mhm.
We didn't just lose a game. We lost the Super Bowl because we were going to run through people.
Yeah.
But that's the game of football. You got to bring your game every day.
Every
And
Sunday.
and then that's when we had Elvis Kerr back.
Uh-huh.
Elvis got healthy, and then they replaced Rich Gannon, which you know
In the last game of the year?
mistake or whatever. Marty probably wish. I'm sure Marty Schottenheimer wish he would have left Rich Gannon in there because Rich was on fire.
Mhm.
And then Rich the next year went free agent to the Raiders and took them to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Yeah, he did, didn't he?
Yeah, yeah, and
Mhm.
everybody knew it. Everybody knew who's a better. Well, I love Elvis, but Rich was on fire right then.
Yeah,
Should have won with
run
the
with the
hot
hot
hand.
hand. Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I have a one or two more or three more questions. Sorry about that.
Okay.
One is I read an article about you training Brock Lesnar.
Right.
Is that true?
Yeah. Brock came down to Phoenix, and there was a place called Athletes Performance. Mark Vasigan, I think, was the head of it. Um, Brock came down. They had, I think he was spending 10 grand a month, housing, everything, food, training, medical, massages, everything. He was training to go play for the Minnesota Vikings.
Mhm.
This was after I retired. This is when I was done, and I was on the fire department at the time. But my buddy, let me think of his name. Anyway, I played with him in college. He was the or he was the kind of personnel guy for Athletes Performance, and he called me up. He goes, "Hey man, I got this guy that's gonna try and play in the football. He hasn't played since high school. I want to bring you down here and just show him some on the field stuff. More than just running or jumping or getting stronger and stuff like that." I was teaching him. Man, he didn't even know what a three technique was. He didn't,
Yeah.
how to line up. I was kind of getting him some of those terms.
Mhm.
So when you get into camp, you can still kind of, the thing with camp, a lot of guys go into those camps and you get a phone book of plays, and they're going through 3-4 blitzes of practice. That's like eight blitzes a day because you got two practices. If you're not studying, you see guys just with the most incredible athletic ability can't make it through the camp because their brain shuts down. And once you start thinking in the game of football, you don't have time to think. You got to react to everything. And you'd see guys, they'd miss a couple of days and then all of a sudden, boom, now they're missing. Now they can't. Now they're playing catch up, and they can't catch up, and their brain just goes to mush, and then their athletic ability goes way down. But Brock was an interesting guy. I mean, for a guy to come out of high school and never play college football, I thought he had a chance. I mean, he is a determined individual.
Hmm.
His mindset is, right where you need to be. But going for a D line, not playing in college, not playing for like 6-7 years, it was going to be an incredible feat for just a guy to make the team.
Hmm.
And he did for the Vikings. They wanted to send him over to the World League and get him some experience, But, as you know, he went back to the WWE, I guess, and or got into the cage fight and stuff.
Hmm.
But, yeah, Brock was a good friend of mine. We had him over for dinner, and I was actually coaching junior high wrestling at the time, had him come in, guest speak to the kids. We had about 300 kids show up for practice that day.
Wow, that's
And,
pretty cool. Yeah.
yeah, it was really cool. The kids were really excited. And of course, he's doing all the moves on me. I'm like, he's picking me up in the air. I'm like 280 at the time. I'm like, man, this guy is incredibly fast and quick. He might have a chance of making this football team.
Yeah.
He actually went to the camp in Minnesota, at that time, and I don't know if they still do. I don't think they do because KC's camp is in Kansas City, correct?
Yeah, it's in St. Joe.
Yeah. Well, we used to go up to River Falls, and we drive over to Minnesota, and we practice those guys. We do a couple days practice where we'd just practice against those guys. So I called up Coach Carmelich, which Coach Carm was still with the Chiefs, and I kind of got little tabs on him. I go, hey, what do you think of the Brock guy? I go, well, he's a big, strong guy. He wants to bet heads, but the ball runs right by him. He doesn't know what's going on out there. He just seems lost. He just needs some experience. But Brock was incredible athletic. I mean, the guy had a 40-inch vertical, ran a
Jeez.
4.7.
Oh my.
Legit 4.7, 4.6. I mean, jeez, that
Hmm.
280.
Yeah.
I was like,
On
this guy
paper,
might
it
have a
should have
shot.
been really good.
Yeah, yep, for sure.
And then so when I was going through your stats, I noticed that you had three kick returns. Can you explain that?
All right, so I was on kickoff return, and I was back in the wedge,
Hmm.
and yeah, I think my average. I had one return for like 50. I don't know. I crossed the 50. It was pretty exciting. But when that ball kicked off, the guy kicks off. I'm like, and you can see the ball kind of spiraling on its axis, and I'm like, no way that ball's coming to me. Sure as shit, comes right to me. I catch it, and I put two hands over the ball so I wouldn't fumble it. But yeah, just start running, man. Get up the field, get as much yards as you can.
Man,
So
that's pretty
that's
funny.
how it happened. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't expect to get the ball right there, let me tell you. And
Hmm.
when you do, you're like, oh shit, let's go.
Better hold
You
on
know?
to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then for my final question, in your opinion, who is the best football player you've ever seen with your own eyes?
It's got to be Derrick Thomas. I
Yeah.
mean, the guy. I mean, I just watched him get 7 sacks in a game. Let me tell you a little story on Derrick. So Derrick, I would break down. I'd break down the film, every game, and I'm like, there's no way he's getting off the ball that fast. I'm watching it, and our remotes are really good, and you can go super slow on there. And I'm like, Derrick, I go, come here. And I kind of grab him away from the guys. I go, step in this, step in the film room here. I want to show you something. I go, what are you looking at? How do you know what the count's on? He goes, no, I'm watching the ball. I'm like, Derrick, You're not watching the ball, dude. You're moving as the ball's moving. You're watching, or the snap count somehow. Like, he kind of looks around. It's just me and him in the room. He goes, "Oh well, don't tell anybody." But when the quarterback goes under center, right before the ball snap, the quarterbacks open their hand. If you watch it and watch it real slow, you'll see the quarterback's hand open right before they get the snap,
Oh
so
wow,
they don't jam their finger. So that split second, as Derrick's watching the hand, he can get off with the ball.
that's incredible.
That was something I was like, man, those little secrets like that are just,
Yeah,
it's a game of inches, a game of milliseconds, and if you can get an edge anywhere, you got to take it. So that was one of Derrick's tricks.
yeah. That wow, that's really interesting. I would
You
have
know,
never thought about that.
yeah, Derrick was, man, that guy could turn it on. And when the crowd got rolling, and Derrick he'd do his safety, before the play, he'd look at the fans and put it like a safety, like I'm getting a safety on this play, and
Yeah,
I've seen him
yeah.
do it number of times, get safeties, call it out. I'm like, no
Oh
way.
my.
So what a incredible athlete, what a great human being he was, and he was missed. Let me tell you.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. Well, that's all the questions I have for you today.
All right, no worries, man.
I really
Well, give me a
appreciate you
call
doing this.
anytime. Yeah, yeah, no problem. I'm glad we could hook up, David.
Yeah, for sure. Enjoy the rest of your day and good luck fighting fires.
All right, man. Go Chiefs.
Go Chiefs.
All right, bro. Bye.